this is the ASMR Medic. I hope you're well. We are starting another new game, a new series. I don't know how many of these series, like I'm talking about the GeoGuessr, the Zelda, all these different types of games that we've been playing, a lot of Terraria, Stardew Valley. We're kind of using this holiday break that I'm on as a bit of an experimentation. Which games do you want to see the most? So if you do like these videos, in particular games, make sure to leave a like, because I'm probably only going to maintain the series with the highest interest when I get back from holiday. But yeah, we're playing Pokémon Shield. I, again, just like Zelda, bought this game a good while ago. I'm talking a good year and a bit ago, pretty much on release, I think. So whenever it was released, that's when I got it. Tried to play a little bit of it. I just couldn't get into it, much like Zelda for some reason. Maybe at the time it just really wasn't the game for me. But I've started playing again. I've taken the holiday as an opportunity to kind of get into these games a bit more, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it. I've skipped, as you can see, I'm not live commentating. I'm commentating after recording. Just makes it a bit easier, as my computer needs to record the gameplay through the Switch, and it is very loud. The fan goes very loud. So I skipped the opening sequences. It's very boring. It's just an introduction to the Pokemon League, basically. So it's a big kind of fighting arena. It shows the Gigantamax aspect of the game. And we're just starting off the game. We're going around with Hop, our friend. We're at his house. We're talking to his mum right now, and we're just getting to the point where we're going to be introduced to the legendary character in a little bit. I don't know if we see that in this video, in this episode, or in the next one. I can't remember. But these sheep, I don't know if you've played this game, but there's a couple of Wooloo sheep type Pokemon who escape through, and we have to try and find them in a forest. And on our quest to find these sheep, we encounter the legendary Pokemon, the Shield Pokemon. I actually don't know what it's called, so I'm kind of playing as per usual with my gameplay videos as a complete noob. But we're following Hop into the city, or into the town, where we're going to meet up with his brother, who is a bit of a star. He's kind of the greatest Pokemon trainer of this region at the moment. A bit of a famous chap, I suppose. So we're just kind of following him around and being introduced into the game. So what I've noticed about Pokemon Shield, and obviously Pokemon Sword as well, which I don't have, is that they really do hold your hand through the beginning of the game. And I've not played much, but it does seem like perhaps an easier game than the earlier ones. So Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Silver, Gold, Sapphire, those ones that I'm very familiar with. I used to play those a lot as a child, especially Pokemon Blue. Played a lot of Pokemon Sapphire as well. I played a few of the other ones as well. Diamond, I think I completed, and after that I didn't really do much. I bought Pokemon White, didn't really play it very much. But yeah, this is I actually can't remember his name, so you can read the dialogue as you go through if you're interested. But he's showing off his Charizard and just generally being the showman that he's meant to be in this game. Leon is his name, yeah. But so by your second encounter, unless you've picked up some decent Pokemon and trained quite well, you could find the first couple of challenges against your rival, quote unquote rival, quite difficult. So this is the present. This is the point where we get to choose our Pokemon. So Leon has obviously picked up the 3 known starter Pokemon of the region, I suppose. Usually these are kind of known as the starter Pokemon in the other regions. They're given to you by the professor, but this time it's being delivered to us or offered to us by your rival's older brother, which is pretty cool. And I believe, for a second I forgot who I went with, because I went with the grass type in my first go at the game. So when I first started playing about a year and a half ago, I've actually forgot his name. Is it Trickle or something like that? I don't think it's anything like that. I know that my girlfriend, when she played, she I don't know if she completed, but she did get quite far with it. She picked the fire type Score Bunny, I think it's called. So, as you can imagine, just to switch things up, I went with the water type Sobble. So, girlfriend went with the fire type. I earlier, in my ownership of the game, went with the grass type, whatever his name is. But this time I'm going with Sobble, the water type, and I have to admit he's pretty cute. I usually, and this might be blasphemy to you hardcore Pokemon players, I pretty much always go with grass types. I think they're so undervalued. I think they're really generally speaking, they underachieve. So I always used to go with Bulbasaur in the early games. I used to love Chikorita as well. Other than that, who did I used to go for in the Hoenn region? I can't remember who I used to go with in the Hoenn. But either way, it's time for our first battle, I believe. He's taking... why can't I remember the name of that grass type Pokemon? But yeah, enough of all this trainer nonsense for one night. Oh, and of course, we have this big kind of barbecue thing. Quite a cute number of cutscenes. I quite like the addition of cutscenes, and I think that's just one of the additions and the changes that they've made to this Pokemon. That I'm talking about proper cutscenes, the sort of thing that you see in Zelda that we've been playing recently. But the main thing that I love about this is the perspective. Do you call this third person perspective? I think it's where you're kind of watching your player from behind, like Zelda. And the 3D aspect that we've got going on, the amazing attention to detail that's been made in this game, to the environment and just the atmosphere of it is like playing Zelda, but it's Pokemon, and it is beautiful. I've never experienced a Pokemon game quite like it. It's an amazing take on it, because usually you're viewing your player from high above, looking down. Recently it's been more like this, but this has just taken it to a new level. I played a bit of Pokemon White, which I think is the one before this. There might be one in between, I really can't remember. I haven't played Pokemon much over the past sort of 5-6 years. But yeah, they've changed the just the general artistic. It's on the Switch now, so they're able to they've got a much more sort of power in terms of graphical power to sort of play with, and that has really shown by the way that they've designed it. The Pokemon look amazing. I think the art, I'm maybe I'm a purist. I don't like the idea of thinking of when people say, oh, the things from my day were always better, because my era of Pokemon was, we're talking over 15 years ago, probably almost 20 years ago was when I started playing Pokemon. I think Pokemon Blue came out in 1998 or something, so I might want to correct me on that in the comment section. Pokemon Blue had a lot of problems with it. It's a very buggy game. Silver is probably my my generation would say that's the best game so far. But after that, I always felt just the attention and the care put into the Pokemon themselves has kind of diminished. I look at these Pokemon and I think they're quite clearly fantasy. All Pokemon are obviously fantasy. No real animal can produce fire from their mouth or shoot water bubbles or whatever out of their face, or produce massive vines from their back and whip people with them. I'm not suggesting that, but I look at Bulbasaur and I think that clearly looks like some kind of it's obviously fantasy, but I can almost, the way it's been drawn is almost believable. Like it could be a real animal. The same with Squirtle and Charmander, if it weren't for the fire at the end of his tail. But look at those, look at Scorbunny and that weird kind of triangle, that real weird kind of rectangle that it's got across its nose, and they just look quite clearly fantasy cartoon. They look clearly cartoon. I really don't know if I can envisage what they would look like in real life, whereas I can kind of hazard a guess as to how Bulbasaur or Squirtle would look in real life. If you want to see what real life Pokemon look like, don't Google it. I implore you to not Google it. Sorry, I just realised my laptop's making a bit of noise. I hope it's not too loud for you guys. But either way, we completed the battle pretty easily. We're now on our next journey to go and collect the Pokédex from the professor, who I believe is quite far into town. I like the kind of change in setup that you're slightly outside of the start of town, the sort of area that you would get the Pokédex from usually, although that has been a theme over the last ones. I'm thinking more about Pokemon Blue, I suppose. So yeah, you missed, I played through it, the starter thing where we see the Wooloos, the little sheep Pokemons, bashing against that gate. And the implication now is that the sheep have escaped into the forest, so we've obviously got to go and save them, try and get them. But yeah, I've turned off the sound pretty much to a large degree anyway. I think I'm going to turn it off. I don't think the music is quite ASMR and calming, but battle sequences, battle music, not very calming, so I probably will just turn off the game sounds off altogether for this video. And it gets a bit creepy in here, I'm not going to lie, compared to other, maybe it's just because it's better graphics and more realistic to some degree, but this was a kind of a creepy scene. It gets super foggy. I don't know if we actually encounter a Pokemon. I think we do. Yes, we've got our first wild Pokemon, a squirrel thing, a Squovit. I also think personally the names of the Pokemon are less good. Obviously they've had to come up with 600 plus Pokemon, is that right? I think that is right. They've had to come up with a good 600 names. And so I don't really blame them for having to think of names like Sobble, which doesn't sound like a proper Pokemon, like a proper animal anyway, and a Squovit, also a bit weird. Whereas like Bulbasaur, that's really cool. It's obviously Bulb, as in, I know I keep going back to those original 3-starter Pokemon, it's a bit boring I suppose, but it's true up until quite recently. You've got things like Bulbasaur, who, the name Bulb refers to the plants of the big bulb on his back, and Saur refers to dinosaur, Charmander, Salamander, and Char for, fire reference, Squirtle, which is obviously a turtle, and Squirt for water. I just thought it was, I like this one, a Rookidee. I mean, a rook, I suppose, is slightly bird related, but Sobble. Scorbunny's pretty good. Like Scorch and Bunny, but Sobble, like, I don't know, it's I guess tadpole maybe, I don't know if that's what it's referring to. It's just not very obvious anymore. Pikachu, I suppose, I think that's actually a whereas these are just, it's all a bit kind of all over the place now. I don't know, but I'm glad they've kept the kind of vaguely the same moves, which is awesome. I love that about the game. Yeah, I'm enjoying this game though. I know I was saying that the Pokemon aren't quite as good, and the moves aren't quite as, the art aren't quite as good, the names aren't quite as good. But what they are now lacking in, I guess, the actual animal aspect of it, the physical Pokemon aspect of it, they're making up in terms of storytelling for sure. I think the storytelling is way better now. The game is much more refined, much more well-rounded, and more immersive from that perspective. So maybe you lose immersion in terms of the Pokemon, but you gain a lot from the number of things you can do in the game, the variety in the game, and I think that's amazing. The graphics, of course, are one of the biggest points of it. So here is that legendary Pokemon that we were talking about. He kind of screams this shield type of scream. I guess the only difference between Sword and Shield are maybe a few wild Pokemon, and obviously the legendary Pokemon that you encounter at this point in the game. I assume it's actually just the sword one, rather than the shield. But yeah, we kind of get knocked out at this point whenever that happens, and it's Hop's older brother that eventually comes to save us. We try to explain it to him, and I thought it was going to be one of those situations where the player, your character tries to explain a sticky situation, and all the adults tell you that you're a stupid kid and you're just seeing things, whatever. But no, they believe it, and apparently it's like some sort of legend of the area that these sword and shield type Pokemons, like you see all the moves have no effect, and then it does this big roar, and we white out, black out, whatever they call it in Pokemon. But yeah, I just found it very eerie, this part of the game. I found it really, like I said earlier, it's much more immersive, it's much better storytelling. Like, I'm really actually quite invested and interested in the story and the storyline, rather than just, I want to go catch a bunch of cool Pokemon, and I want to fight with high levels in the Pokemon League and stuff. There's more to it. There's another aspect to the game, the story aspect. There's always been a story in Pokemon, but this one is much more interesting, I think, personally. People may disagree, you probably will. But yeah, Leon came to save us. Woke us up. Obviously we're following those Wooloos, but I think we're about to explain it to him. But yeah, I've recorded. We're coming to the end of this video now, so I have actually recorded one more episode of this, I believe, as I have Zelda, so I've got 2 of those. It's up to you guys. If you prefer Pokemon over Zelda, make sure to leave a like on this one, or if you like both, leave likes on both. You don't need to hold back your likes from me. I'll take them gladly. They help out the channel massively. But maybe in a comment, if you have a preference, maybe you don't. If you have a preference, leave a comment on this video saying Zelda or Pokemon, or maybe a different game from the Switch. I am not going to be able to actually make any more videos from 3 days from now, on the 31st of August. So, well, actually no, this video is going to come out tomorrow, so 2 days from now, technically, I'm not going to be able to make any more videos because I'm going to the beach with my girlfriend and her family, and from there's no way I'm going to be able to upload videos, so it's going to be all backlog from then on, which I think I've got about 15 videos in the bank ready to upload. But yeah, we're just going to